Let's talk about meditation. I started meditating, sounds like I was doing it my whole life, but I wasn't. But I first started experimenting with meditation 20 years ago. That sounds like a lot of time. So right now I'm looking back at it and I can categorize those kind of meditations or ways of meditating that I've experienced or found for myself into three major categories. And this is what I want to share with you today. I'll try to give them names. I'll try to let you know what the benefits and downsides of those different ways of meditating are. If you're watching this right now, you're probably looking for some kind of betterment or some kind of good experience, or you want to strengthen something in yourself like concentration or whatever, and that's why you're looking at meditation. Or you've been meditating and now you're like, I wonder what this guy is having to say about this. So let's start with the first one. We go way back 20 years ago. I was reading some book about meditation. I got drawn to it. I don't know why. Now I do, but at that point it was just a curiosity inside of myself, and that pulled me towards it. And then I was like, I don't know how to do it, so I'm gonna read a book. And in that book there were a few meditations, some of them where you were looking at a dot that you could have made on a paper or on a wall, and then you stared at it basically, concentrating on it, focusing on it, and then you send breaths like in and out and trying to still stay in connection over a long period of time to that dot and not get distracted. Don't allow any thoughts in and just like be narrowly focused. And that was the first kind of meditation I ever experienced, and that's also very fitting for the first category, which is just, let me check, concentration and focus driven meditation. If you find a better name, put it in the comments. I would like that. But that's what I would call it. It revolves a lot around discipline and concentration and being focused, and really training that muscle of being focused and concentrated. And it's a good thing. And I had beautiful experiences with it. I remember putting my alarm clock 1 hour earlier than I normally had to get up. And I was using that hour to train that meditation. And the first few days, of course, I fell asleep and I was really tired and I hated it. But at some point it clicked. And then I really had that magical reveal, that beautiful moment where everything kind of, the curtain lifted and there was no thought anymore. And I remember I was looking outside the window into the sky, and I really felt this stillness, this absolute nothingness of there is no time, there is no future, no past. And I was really, I don't know, that might have been a few seconds, but it felt like a few hours, because I was so immersed in it. And that was really beautiful. It gives me goosebumps right now, because that was the first real spiritual experience I had, and connection to a soulful moment, or a moment of timelessness, which is kind of very close to another. So that's the first category, yeah. And there are a lot of those meditations. But it's also a meditation that is taking a lot of energy and conviction to really put yourself to it. And because it's not a natural thing, right? It's the opposite of what your mind is wanting to do. Your mind wants to wander around, worry especially, but being focused on different stuff, and then it's just a flow of thoughts. And there are a lot of meditations where you just go like, yeah, let your thoughts flow and stuff, and just don't do anything with them, just experience them. Which we're getting to in the second category. But yeah, I think the upside of that is you can have those spiritual moments of timelessness, because you're kind of taking out all the trash, because you don't allow anything else in your mind but being focused on that one thing, your breath or spot or whatever. This is very beautiful, and also that you're strengthening, that's the worst word ever if you're German to say, strengthening your ability to focus which is a good thing, I guess, especially in these times of social media and a lot of fast-moving informations. That really helps you with your daily life because you have a lot of clarity if you keep doing that, if you keep practicing. And that is really beautiful because it takes a lot of other stuff out that is not necessary, and you're more able to come up with solutions or see things more clearly. And also here, it strengthens that muscle of being able to focus over a long period of time, which reminds me to, I don't know, maybe do that more often again, because I don't tend to that category anymore. But that's the powerful side of it. So the second one, let me check which name I gave that one. It's awareness and consciousness. Just being aware of what's going on inside of you. So instead of in the first category where you've been really focused and forcing yourself to be a certain way, in that one you're not trying to do anything specific, but you just observe and let things flow, and you're really focused inwards. Also watching your thoughts, your feelings, your body. We all know the talk, like, do you feel your left toe and stuff. So that's nice, I guess. Some people use it also to manifest. Yeah, there's a lot of that positive thinking and kind of moving your mind into a certain direction. So there's that. I fit that into the same category, but also just observing or becoming more aware of yourself, discovering more parts of you. So in this category is in the middle of all the three. It's kind of a focused state, but not narrow focused. It's just focused within, and it still allows things to move around and to not really force anything. And then also, yeah, you could focus your mind on a special of a certain feeling. I use that to change my energy around things, like especially when I had like money issues at a certain point. I was like realizing that I had all that negative focus on money, all that worries and all that fears around it. And also my thoughts been really negative. So I used that one to focus on the opposite. I was asking myself, well, how does the opposite feel? The opposite feels like the earth is, or the planet or whatever, life is caring for you, and life is carrying you and providing you with nurturing information, food, people, relationships, because that's how you switch out of that survival mode of lack and scarcity. And I was trying to remind myself of that feeling, and I was trying to allow it in and move towards that. And that really helped. I had really special events happening after that because I switched my energy. And that was also for me validation of that this whole law of attraction thing and changing your energy really works. But you have to do it on a really deep level, and that's what that meditation is about. You gotta discover that deep level and what's going on there, because the thoughts are just like a canvas where you can see what's going on, but there's energy around it or below it that you can really feel and get into and change over time. And moving into a certain feeling also releases all the attached emotions that are blocked and causing that negative mindset in the first place. So that's a lot of inner alchemy happening there, and this is kind of the second way of meditation that I see, and there's really wonderful and beautiful and necessary, yeah, but it's kind of in the middle of controlling and not controlling and allowing to flow. Now you're probably really curious what the third category is, and I'm too. What's the name of it? Freedom and relief. Couldn't decide which word, but they both describe it really well. Because this is a meditation where you just, this is what I'm doing right now when I have free time or when I take time for myself, is I go just into a place of total freedom and total allowance. Let me try to describe what's going on. To me, it's more like creating a direct doorway to your soul, the divine, or whatever you want to call it. That's a mental state. That's something or it's the absence of a mental state, I don't know. But it's really hard to describe, I realize right now. But the thing is, I was getting to that space through spending time with myself. And I really had the urge to come back to that soulful space that I felt at some point in my life. Like there have been certain incidents where I really felt connected and felt close to my soul, just being at my essence. And what is the soul? The soul is in a state of complete timelessness. So everything physical, everything that has limitations, like time, time is a really good one. Everything that has a past or future, it doesn't affect the soul because it's still in the essence, it's still potential and just the source of everything. So there's no time, there's no 3 dimensions, there's just space, and there's freedom, and there's love, and there's infinite possibilities, and you can feel them, and you can really emerge in that. And I find that in a certain place of myself. And this is where all this inner work and healing brings you. It brings you to a point where you can access freedom anywhere you are. And in any situation. Maybe not any situation. If you're really triggered, that kind of blocks the doorway in some way. But you can always, at some point, you just know where to find it and you can go there. And this was what I am experiencing right now when I really have the time to get away from all the responsibilities. And being in that state is kind of being like a child. You really drop all your expectations, you drop all your responsibilities and all your wants and needs, because this is always kind of building a separation between you and your soul. Everything that is conditional is gonna block you from being free. So you could ask yourself, what are the things that I'm holding on to? And then you create that space, and it gotta be, I gotta be alone for that. Hopefully at some point I don't need that anymore, but right now when I'm alone, I can go into that space and into that place where I really feel free and let myself free and let myself go. And this is what makes this state of meditation also completely different to all the other ones, because there are no rules anymore. There is nothing that you have to be or do. It's the opposite. You don't have a goal anymore. You don't have an outcome that you want to have of it. It's just free time that you offer yourself to be free of everything, which is kind of what we need in these times, because we're all stressed. It's all kind of blocked and full and dense, and so the longing for a state where you're free of all of it is becoming more and more important. To me, finding this state and allowing yourself to be in it is also a great antidote for any kind of depressive states. And it's really just something you gotta figure out for yourself and discover for yourself inside of yourself. You gotta try to work through all the stuff that you want and through letting it go, and to find that doorway where you open up and you just feel like you are in allowance. And that's beautiful, because if you are in that state, a lot of things will flow, because you will become a child again, which means you also have a lot of energy. If you are in freedom, your creativity ramps up, your energy goes up. That's why I don't even sit anymore when I do these kind of states or meditation. I'm just walking around because I'm flooded with energy. And that's the beauty of that meditation as well. You don't have to like sit straight or force yourself into anything. You can like lay on the couch, you could stand up, you can walk around, and you can really breathe, and your whole system is doing healing on its own, because your body is getting the energy it deserves, because it's not blocked by your mind anymore and thoughts. And then you realize how much energy that those thoughts are eating up the whole day, and then you can move around, and then the energy is going into your system, and also that energy, because it's at a very intense level, brings up all the dense energy that is contradicting it. So you might experience, like in the second category of meditating, that there's a lot of emotion coming up and trying to flow out. There are a lot of things going on inside of you that are being processed, and your body or your soul or both of them, they're doing it on their own. They just need the space where you let go and you don't try to be anything else or try to focus on anything. They just want to be free, and that is kind of, it's like a deer when it's scared, it just shakes it off and walks away, and the whole body is doing a process on its own because it doesn't think about future or past. It doesn't go like, oh, what if that happens to me again? I better hold on to that fear. So that state of allowance is just really beautiful, and that's what I want to share with you. Did you try to find that place where you're really free, that you don't have to be anybody else than what you are right now and who you are right now, and you don't have to change anything about what is going on inside of you. You just allow it. If I'd compare those 3 ways of meditation, I'd say concentration or focus is the least natural and it takes the most energy, but it has also beautiful side effects, like your cognitive capabilities increase, your memory increases, and your ability to focus on a task for a long period of time. But when I come back to the third one, it's more sustainable because you kind of get addicted to it. You get addicted to freedom because you have an urge for freedom. I mean, this is what we are trying to bring into this world, right? Some level of beauty and being more free and being like a child, but with the tools of a grown-up. It costs no energy. It does it the opposite. It sets energy free. There are moments where it brings up unpleasant emotions, and that's where the energy might be getting blocked, and then you, I don't know, gotta embrace whatever it brings up. But it creates more energy than it consumes. That's a fact. Anyways, there's no right or wrong way. It's just experience, and it's beautiful to take the time to really delve into that, get in touch with yourself, and also be in connection with yourself and give space to what's going on inside of you instead of just being focused on the outside. We take a lot of time for really unimportant stuff, but really taking time to be free and be you and to allow all things that need processing to be processed. Yeah, heck yeah, that is important. That's really important. So actually it deserves half of our time, if you ask me. It's very important, more than ever, to look within and to set yourself into a good place, good state, good space. I don't know. If you got any questions or suggestions, another word I can't pronounce, but put them in the comments. Just let me know. I would like to hear your thoughts about it, your experiences, and also if you see it differently and have other categorizations or feelings about meditation. We'd love to hear your stories. Take care, and I hope I see you soon.